The eagle was received. Why? The guy if threatened, complained, or is too apparently timid, and you might be was not a bit childish, or that guy, you know, here prepared to give up and cannot really mess around, I wonder was gone. Quote, I ways Mr. began to gradually think that way. But, if the concern of the people of pirates is fade, in turn, her daughter began to become a Gakari mind. Eagle of precaution may have been a bit hand too much severity. It maybe did not go to had been to confine such as to Zashikiro a daughter. So the daughter is also jumpy without. Let me one so intimidating was closed. State of this time of theirs almost like people has changed. Re-just infuse the Jikon with a blue face. Eagle is to be disagreeable, likely to reply to say things. It would turned away, somehow, but something that I want to compliment a little care. Quote, when I was thinking such a thing, is I ways said suddenly, has been finished today. I was reminded of Western furniture of the drawing room. Yeah, so, once you showed there, and must have pleased I'm sure, because here Oshi furniture is a set of luxury chair. When you order it before just one in the moon, the fabric stretched in a chair was of Mr. Sane. It has been selected. I ways Mr. noticed based on this idea, went to do immediately to the back of Sane's living room. Sane, chair, order any preferences, m've been able to today. The other are installed in the parlor. Was a fine workmanship than a look I thought came to see once. Open the bran, and call out while Nazakiko me the room. Mr. Sane that had been leaning against the desk, but turned around as a wince, and I immediately bowed. Is that so? But I know. And it is at all not a half-hearted reply. Not a thing to make no reply will such affable look come from. Oh well, Auntie, we are a little borrowed Sane, I ways said, and so ripple in an auntie of the next room, so as to take the Sane's hands, not proceed. Went out him. Auntie and the next Akachi detective of the room had been left shot open empty. He is there is a compelling shoyo. While going out from the morning, I still do not go home. When he go out, make sure I ways is home, to be servants, so as not to speak of the eye from Sane. It is needless to say that when given the attention worthy, before long, Mr. Sane in accordance with after the father, went to a wide sitting area. That's what I was around a bit too flashy. While I ways Mr. says, sat down to one of the new seams chair. Around the round table, sofa, armchair, leaning wood, no chair of women's, such as a small chair of leaning wood, a set of convenient seven-legged. It had lined up, had a yaka. Well, it is beautiful. Sane's reticence was said finally things. Indeed it seems the chair liked. She tried over the hips to the couch. It seems a little hard. The something ordinary couch, I feel comfortable, such as is different over was. Well, the freshly left over, will come out to something a little stiff. Accustomed to them Yowarakami. If at that time, along with I ways Mr. also Sane, if I tried sitting on the couch, must have been I could not help not inspire him very suspicious. Banket's wearing comfort was so strange, but he remained sunk in one of the armchairs. I was not even attempting the other chair. To the place that is so. Booth Sukai has put a face from the door. I informed a phone call. It seems requirements from the Osaka store. I ways Mr. went out in a hurry to the back of the living room of the desk phone. But, truly cautious, over the voice in student room. Did not forget that the order and denote the Sane's drawing room. Two of the student, the voice of my husband out to the hallway, where he served as a lookout. The thrust per corridor had become the parlor door. Not pass in front of the student who is. Nobody we cannot enter the room where the Sane. Of course in the drawing room. But several of the windows facing the garden was open. All it is. Our fit is Ikameshi great example. Also from the garden. Also from the hallway. The way to approach the affairs of Sane-san had been completely stoppage. It is not. Although the how urgent business of the phone. Mr. Iways was not supposed to go left all alone to Sane in the room. The results of the telephone. Iway said had to Demuka to suddenly Osaka store. He was the Chakuge on the fly. Is seen off by his wife and Butsukai. I came to the front door. I please be careful to Sune. Now we're in the drawing room. But had been told her the lookout to student us. Please be aware you may be. He well tied the string of shoes in Butsukai again and again to his wife reminded. Mrs. Keepin seeing off the master that fit in the car. But was close to the sitting area and to see the state of the daughter. Noticing, you hear the sound of the piano. Well, Sune let Yari sure that you and I think not do. These days you are playing the piano. A good taking allowances. Belong. She turned to somehow airy feeling. After having given careful not to neglect the lookout to the student who went turned back toward the living room. Sune's in the drawing room. When his father had gone, Arai compared the wearing comfort of one of the chairs. Had been her looking out of the window stood, and eventually opening the piano lid. Haphazardly it began beating the key, banging writing shing within or become the song of the nursery rhyme. It has imperceptibly turned into passage of the opera. Had become addicted to the piano for a while. Tired also to it. And another stood up and let's go back to the living room. When I turned around Pop, there she is. To discover the appearance of horrible things that do not really think also over. I had is paralyzed and scaring. Oh, would why such a thing has happened. Also from the hallway from the window. It was not at all stoppage road Komu bear to the room. Toka piano chaise long. Tome, not a gap of about height a person is behind the other furnishings. In these days of low chairs, unexpected depend also think like that lurking down the attached to this room until just now, is to those living in other Sune. It did not even one animal cats. Nevertheless, in front of the now Sune's eye, I do not have confronted one person strange person. Matted hair, stubble was the face throughout thin black. Horrible village of the damned without guard with the glare. What has been why entered here and there wear dirty business suit clothing. With a view of the tier. Man like this monster is. Consider not even. It is determined to guy of the minions of the woman bandit's black lizard. Ah, at last. That expected came. Moreover, by taking advantage of the people began to somewhat off guard imaginary. Kaikoku such as magician. Topped comfortably warning, like a ghost. I've been crowded shinobi from the gap of the door. My husband. I do not make a voice. Rough that no palm is. I because it is important daughter also to us. The songs in a low voice was a doshitsuke. But, even without receiving such a note, Mr. Poor little Sune, in horror. So the body throughout was numb. Paralyzed was also no longer can also make a scream. Thief is smiling a bukimi smile and grin. Around quickly Sune's behind, and take out something like a handkerchief that was rounded from the pocket. Yanibani and Odorikaka to her, had suppressed the mouth with his handkerchief. Mr. Sune, over the chest from the shoulder, such as has been tightened to the snake. I felt a nasty pressure. Mouth for a handkerchief, was suddenly become stuffy and stuffy. How much anything? It will not help to sit still anymore. She is frail girl of 4 Saranka Jiri. I was struggling to get away recognized from the hands of the songs. As of yarn and it took a beautiful one animal butterfly spider. Miserably. Was traveling around splashing Monoguru Ashiku. But, eventually, limbs her was moving to Kapatsuas. Gradually lose power. Unawares. Had limped to silent. It is the effect of the anesthetic. Song who, when the butterfly is not flapping, grinning lay the body on top of the along the carpet, while Yari in accordance with the hem of the kimono that Hidaka, looking at the beautiful sleeping Sune's face, yet again and was the floating bad smile of the bottom slightly. Daughter makeover, for from gone ceased the sound of the piano that had leaked from the drawing room was standing also. Another 30 minutes. Mr. Sune. It does not seem to come out one line. until the best is like the sound of moving the wrapping and things had been heard. It even is now cut off Patari. The other side of the door is quiet as dead. Hey, long nay. I wish I carry back lazily to the room. Is not it has become anyway full quiet? Z strange somehow. Look out of the student is no longer completely patience. To the place where began whispering, which is also auntie and as tailored came was worried about the daughter. Daughter is to have come to the drawing room. Husband also I guess of you together. Annie or as he was not unaware of the going out of the master. No, a little while ago your husband takes a phone call from the store, has been going to Osaka. Ah, well, hey not daughter alone that of. Do the escorbate, CHAA do that. Auntie and is a dissatisfied face. So, but I we have a lookout. To stand dive time from a little while ago. Not I Rashara outline. And because it is so quiet, I think a little strange. Well, let me go. Auntie and is saying so. Close to the determinedly in the door. Casually opened it, but saw except the middle. And I think excluding. Also immediately tightened. He came back running to suddenly at the student who. What did you do with whether her face has turned pale? It is very. Please go and see a little. Weird guy is lying on the couch. And young lady. Please out grab the guy not to buy. Early appeared to Asko. Well creepy. Student who did not of course believe such a thing. I doubted that it would be different in this old lady care. However, there is no other to see also carried out anyway. They suddenly opened the door. I jumped into the reception room. View in. Surprisingly, auntie and the word was never lie. Certainly on the couch. So and dead tired. There is a guy who is lying. Wearing a tattered suit. Face throughout stubble. A man like a beggar. Korra was nothing difference. Judo first stage of heroes student has Yusubu, overhand to the song's shoulder. Well, it accumulates not. One it sees this guy drunk. A haberdashery shop side by side yacht at the top of the couch. He pinched the nose and stomach jump in the comic gestures. Indeed, the evidence of drunk, to have been the face of the man is oddly pale. Under the couch, large bottle of whiskey, was lying become empty. Even so, if those who drink alcohol in the room. But he seems to be it is too early around a little drunk. Student we did not notice until there. Yuri awakens Song who has loved the thin eye. A messy dirty mouth of Hada. While turning licking a red tongue. Cause dizzy and upper body. I'm sorry not, Aura, I'm no good. Karushi-ku, the very, do not drink anymore. The drawing room of this shinsho. What are chigai I think even a tavern. The man began to wind the key to which is not gibberish. Sue idiot you think here and where it is. And difference we came in together why to here. For example, down. Whether to you have been why entered. Below me. Snake of the road is a snake hole. Anywhere in the career that umi wine is or hidden katoa. And chan. I know it s. Hetty. You more than that. Z I do not see the figure of the daughter. This guy is. I think we were somehow. Another student was aware of it. But the really strange thing was try to find the room throughout bear without the addition of a drunk. Not know the true character. It was not even the shadow of a person. Integrated this is he of what was. That beautiful young lady is. In between of only 30 minutes or so. Like of Tenkatsu Miss Magic. Or will the had turned into this dirty drunk. Considering only from the front and back of the circumstances. No matter how ridiculous. But I do not think so to only very much. Hey, you, when I came here, but should to a beautiful daughter was no needed here. Either. Hey, white a clear reply did not see you. It is fucked Kazuki the shoulder, man's line numb. I missed at it. Hey, beautiful young lady, is allowed to bring. Where to? Aura. I do not worship a long time beautiful daughter of the face. Worship and dukunin. Early come on, early. I come to pull here. Wah ha 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 ha. Indeed Puriel it did not. In such a guy, I'm wasting me what you've heard. any way to make a phone call to the police. If allowed to sit or not, you try to be passed forever here. Jamal become a full room throughout octahedrite. Iway's wife is wearing over a period of surprise at the news of Auntie, or is she an unusually fastidious? And here a beggar like a man wearing a octahedrite. There is no courage to enter the room. Taken up mates when Sonar in. But he had been fearfully accepted from the outside of the door. Hear the words of today's student. Oh, it is good. Please call early policeman. A phone call to someone the police and orders with. And, after all, reprobate, not may of its enigmatic. Although he was Butchakoma in police custody of the land, the two police officers grab the hands of the songs and take away as hanging. Atoniwa, for what his vomit and blankets that miserably dirty remained an intolerable odor. The chair of the just came able to well waste Auntie, and that I say looking at it from a distance while frown. I do not have him just octahedrite a big strange Kagazaki. Well creepy. Will also had with him cutlery. We blankets expired torn badly. Fie on you. Though only just become the long-awaited clean. Not palm put to such a thing sitting area. It is a phone call to someone furniture shop. Please say so to come to pick up. Help recovering his Naku. Fastidious house I weighs Mrs. He even moment the dirty things did not bear to put in the mansion. Now, when drunken fuss is settled down, now suddenly it is of Sine began to worry. It goes without saying to Mr. Husband I weighs this is breaking news. Because even knew the destination of Ikechi. The phone has been applied to go back in a hurry. At the same time, large search of the premises has been started, and the 3 police officers that have a business trip, in a general mobilization of the beginning servants, the student, at the beginning hand the drawing room and Sine's living room, upstairs, downstairs, from to the bottom of the edge garden, was traveling around looking for without leaving the place, but beautiful daughter, as the dew of Hazu that melt in the morning sun, or would they had evaporated in a heat haze. The figures, the shadow was also the also invisible form. Kai skill of the magician. After about 2 hours if there is a drunken commotion, I weighs in the Kogoro Akechi, who came back from Osaka in contact with the urgent message it is in the living room of his master. For this inexplicable event, had dodged to take the busy conversation. That is near Iway's wife and Auntie, and the door is ahead. It's also called 2 people of the student responsible, or Kashikoma. Blunders was. It seems I was too careless yet again. Akechi was a state that truly sorry there is not. No, not that your blunders. This is exactly the eagle was bad. Because that daughter is crowded too much to sink. Become with poor. It went wrong was bring out to such as drawing room. Speaking of guard, eagle precisely, had been entirely off guard. Quote, Watakushi, we did not even go that had been relieved to leave in was theirs a carelessness. Houseboy, Iway's wife also referred to the same thing. However, such a thing does not have a way even try afresh said. Than that, we, or daughter has been out of the time drawing room, and where to have been taken away. We have to make sure that point. Akechi went to abort the tedious talk, not return. Now, so discarded. There is Yaib Hagasan very much to the eagle. Put Karada, for Uidumai is not you had a inattentive. Daughter is a going out of that room. Did not notice it as mine a. When I weighs Mr. Ask. One of the student that was called Karada answered a little bit of resentment. Omen Mochi. No, there is no absolutely such a thing. I was not properly continue to watch towards the door, and, in order to daughter have come to another room from the sitting areas, to go through the corridor standing just of us not it. How much anything, the daughter is wilt thou you through the front of the eye. There is no wool that we have missed. Quote, Hun, but you say a thing like that cheeky. But why was gone the lady? Or say even the daughter went flying out to beat that sturdy iron bars. For example, that's how, I guess at any time off the grate. Quote, when Iway said emotion is intense, there seems to be a habit listening to with abusive language. Student is too quickly humbled, while oysters his head. Honestly answer that was obvious. However, rather than behind bars, even glass window, there was no evidence that removing the latch, it looked it's, in other words, if not it will be you who is escaping scene. Please wait. Well, somehow does not seem to like these people was relief scene. Speaking of the relief scene, not only daughter, that drunk I mean that relief also seeing the place to enter the drawing room. How much is not also note of that they do not notice you to move in and out also of human two people is that you do not also. Very much likely Akechi said thinking thought, I cannot even really likely. But yeah, if it was there. Iways it still hits the poison opening. Akechi was continued without regard to it. Not be torn iron bars. When the student and his friends also do not escape see. One conclusion only, while others went to that drawing room, will be the fact that there were no others came out. Foo fun, then. So you're right. Even as he was garbled in the drunk. Not a joke. Eagle daughter does not have an actor. Your husband. You are the daughter. I was your show nasu. A chair that could ish new. The chair did you deliver today? Yes. Ayanta has arrived shortly be going out. It is strange. You are. And of the chair has arrived. In between of the kidnapping of the daughter. Or does not appear to there is not a chance something lead. I somehow is. Akechi remains was about to say so. To narrow the eye, had sunk in thought for a moment, and increase the hash and face. Blurted out that, not sure of the meaning of something. Human share, divan a novelist fancy, I wonder really can perform. And he rises in souk. In the state that something was very excitement, without even greeting to the people, had went suddenly out of the room. People, in the quirky behavior of the detective, is taken aback, but had been postponed blankly and face without those a while sharp mouth. Then, and footsteps coming back quickly chipping of Akechi. From the hallway Boliv was heard. I've done a chaise long to anywhere. Is not that invisible to the drawing room? Well, Mr. Akechi, good dad if something please. Chair calm. Eagle as he is worried about her daughter now. When I ways Mr. Call out. Akechi as has been entered at last into the room. Repeated the same thing while still confronted. No, I wanna know his banket's whereabouts. Where are you or did? Then one of the student has answered it. That, with the just because Craftsman Furniture Store came to receive, that so as to have Yari pass. Insect, because the thing that was told her of his wife. Wife, it is true. Yeah, drunk or torn. With her Yogoshi, because the thing so much musai. Had we not strained to get in a hurry. I ways his wife, not yet or notice answer is prim and proper. Did so. Oh, I wish had been to be in trouble. When the other irreversible cannot tell. No possibly. So, just maybe. It may be my misunderstanding. You kinda borrowed the phone. Akechi is to think that or not murmured Rash that was enigmatic mad. Clinging to suddenly bottom of the desk phone. It took the handset. You, the Pearl River tell you the telephone number of the furniture store. The student to answer to it and Kuchiitsushi. Akechi was shouted to exchange hands. Oh, it is in furniture store. This is the house of Iways. Or the best but he was me tourist to take the couch. There is arrived to another person of you. Oh, a chaise long. Certainly. I'm sorry is very much late. In fact, you will find a place that had been thought that trying suggest things now store. A Tonkyo reply from the other side of the handset had been heard. Well, for good sake, kunai rap it to take from now on. It is paddle reel. Here, although he had to pass another little while I go. Akechi returns yelling to impatience likely. He does not have a way. Do not. Everyone is in front of us. But I do not have heard to still mansion. You Pearl River me wonder if your husband, firm examined, well by chance not know of you. Is not that I came someone to hear. No, there is no such a thing. Still Watakushi, that here at your house, because it does not tell the person of the store. There is no reason to ask. When asked to there, Akechi is multiplied by the slam in the receiver, and also rose, but was somewhere likely out chipping too. Again I think. In turn, make a phone call to the police station of the land. Called the investigation chief. Akechi is the first day that became Iway's house guests. First of all because had signed this investigation chief in friendship. It in this case helped enough. I but is Akechi of Iway's house. I bang gets example of a drunk as Yogoshi. There. And taken out from the house telling the name of the furniture store. I have the guy who ran away piled up in the track. Ran to either Taka does not know. And as soon as possible to arrange. Is likely if you please capture that person. Yes, that is the couch. Human chair. Yeah, man chair. No. Do you mon joke? Yeah, probably so. Is not that there is no way of thinking to another. In your help. Is crowded scene of me. I think that is not never wrong. But I will talk in detail from any later. Quote. Then when you tries to cut off a phone call. This time from the other party. Surprising report has been brought about. Well, escape was. That person had been careless I think drunk is a great omission? Yeah, but it's not wonder. The thing was that guy flew eaten. Are determined dominions of Black Lizard. It was a regrettable thing. Still cannot caught. In how many minutes regards. Even. Two thing related to please. Person of life with all your best whether you blankets. Even those of Suican. The later. Gotchery and handset sounds. Akechi. As I was disappointed. Had crouched there. People of the troop had listened to the voice of the telephone in an unusual tension. Then, for each haiku, the reason for the erratic behavior of the detective appeared as we know. Akechi-san, in the state of the talk, we found as soon as the thing to Eagle roughly. Eagle was Odorakiri to Antra of your insight. No, let alone be in it. Boldly this of bandits. The magic was missing Zuba's. I do not fiddling mouth is blocked. In other words, a man posing as that drunk. Hidden in the interior of the chaise longue in which the specifications over a period of. For it is authentic and swap that somewhere made a furniture shop in. Then, in the sitting areas. I mean that as man's entered sete had been laid. Akechi's, the daughter. Man that Sane is entering it is coming off along from the chair. That guy was never killed daughter the Innis. Quote. Iway said, got off to a word as scaring. No, there is no such thing as kill never, as you know even in the case of hotels. You guy are once a living daughter. Akechi answered to reassure. Yeah, then I think. But it is the eagle even so. A daughter who lost their sanity. Now to put into the interior of the couch that was not his own of hiding vacant. Close the lid. Then, him at all costs chaise longue so I began to imitate the drunk lying on top of. However, that dirty stuff. Quote. Oh, are you superb? It is a visionary who your husband is also not lose to the Black Lizard. I think also you of the street. Him of fear is, by such Zuba idea that omission. The ridiculous trick, and nonchalant is there in Kimitama to run. I is exactly the fairy tale is like this time of conception. Some novelist of theirs that human chair to work. After all hidden villains into the chair, but as the story of a mischievous, the absurd of the novelist. Black Lizard was fairly show-running, so even if those dirty now talk, prepared in advance the kind of liquid, chaise longue from the bottle rather than from the mouth I was dumped on top of. Yeah, I is the bottle, you know, of that whiskey large bottle. I checked the liquid remaining in that. I'm sure you'll be the smell of octahedrite is. It very, fruit of the once upon a time the west of I hand in the fairy tale. Towards its fairy tale, rather than octahedrite, it did more dirty things. Quote, in that drunk, Toka had escaped from police custody. Yeah, it seems to have escaped. Drunk also couch also, as in the fairy tale, would have had vanished to somewhere. Akechi has been involuntarily bitter smile. was also added in a kit. But, your husband, I will not forget that it has promised in the K Hotel someday. Please worry, be subjected to life, to protect the daughter. I never going to not be such as not irreversible. Somehow I believe please look at my complexion. Do you pale? Worry seems you see in the shadows. With not, eyes a calm, I this street of calm. Quote, Akechi is to say so. Showed by smiling laughing. I do not think bravado. He are smiling from true people. In Tanamoshi up, looked up at the face of the Minkarui detective. Egypt of the Star, jeweler daughter kidnapping incident. But the next day's newspaper article was overmade nationwide. The police of the land. Of course, Sune's whereabouts search of has been done by increasing the total police force of Osaka Prefecture. Also in the display stations of the department store. Also in the show window of the furniture dealer. Also at the station, as cargo warehouse. Chaise long that couch has received a bukimi of suspicion. Nervous people, even in the home of the sitting area of the sofa, is not changed the condition of the prima facie bottom. I did not feel like sitting then, but has passed one full day and night from the incident. The whereabouts of the man-stuffed couch did not know any. Did died of or alive. The figure of beautiful Sune-san was felt as had been completely drowned out from the world. I weighs Mr. and 10 out, such as Mrs. was Ayumide Manaka. Sune also was led to the peril, and also was relief saw the thief. A completely I ways of Mr. and Mrs. oversight, whom it did not also blame. Too much grief, too much of the resentment, lost with time inadvertent go out of Akechi detective. It was also the feeling you want to blame. Akechi was not of course guess the feeling, even as his own. In the name of the detective, I feel responsible for this kidnapping. It was not shame the off guard. Not she tired of replacement. Nevertheless, as though indeed a great soldier of the veteran, he is there where the interests in deep heart did not upset any. Iway-san, please believe me, daughter is safe. Byron not irreversible and will be applied to your eye. And, even in the hands of bandits, never lady is never harm. 8 Sirawa surely would have treated like precious treasure the Sune. Is there a reason that must be so? It is not that Nasaru worry even a little. Quote, Akechi is to Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Iways was comforted to say things again and again this sense. But, to say that Akechi's recover, I do daughter where now, of their whereabouts is, I guess even you say to Ananda to know. Iway said, yet again heard the poison port of the example. Yes, you might even say it has been found. Akechi is unfazed. Hun, well, I white as Kudasara I went to the back to there. When the look is, you're, like and left police from yesterday. But ya is Nasaru F. Sukane the hands do nothing. If so much no if. It is what I want you to take early appropriate action. Quote, I am waiting. For example, the waiting? It's a notification from the Black Lizard. Single quote. I do notice of you say even it's funny. When the thief is Yokosuka the notification. If to say please come to receive the daughter. Iway said, heard the abusive language, showed laughing at fun and no sake. Yeah, so detective is innocent like a child. He might Yokosuka notification that the carp to receive the daughter. For example, Anta, it is whether the Nasaru going insanity. Nanbo anything. Akechi's. Such a thing thief is. In this case, joke will suffer I'm sorry. Jewelry King was Ihana bitterly. It is not a joke. I will tell you I'm sure now. Oh, possibly. You may notice shape is mixed among them. At that time they will. But I had been prioritizer to kidnapped sitting area of Sune's example. Just to there. One of the student was to have brought together a third flight came wow of the day. Is pirates of notification shape among this? Iways Mr. received a letter a few emails from the student. The only unexpected say what a ridiculous. While the reply of the absent-minded had examined one by one sender, made a quickly Tonkyo voices hash. Hey, yeah, what when absorbing it? This pattern is Jame hell. It was a letter of one mail that has been wrapped in a choice of Hiroshi envelope. And see, in the back, rather than the name of the sender, in the lower left corner of the envelope, the pattern of one animal of black lizards. It had been drawn to Takumi. It is a black lizard. Single quote, quote. Akechi is not surprised a little. It just unexpected said to let it see. In the black lizard. Osaka is a city of postmark. Iway said seems truly merchant fast. It took in it. Oh, Mr. Akechi. Anton. This is why I had known in advance. Certainly pirates of the notification form. This is very much. As he was very sensitive. They are staring at the face of the detective. The angry instead was a fast old man. Also heal the mood. Look open. Black lizard is I've been requested to do something. The words of Akechi. Iway's Mr. off the carefully sealed. Viewed spread the Shokinsen in. What of the mark is also not pure white of the paper. In poor typeface there, it had been following a complaint Shidatame, somehow deliberately badly. Wrote such a typeface. Thankful to our troubled yesterday. Daughter has entrusted to us certainly. From the police search you yes to Kakuma you absolutely in a safe place. Daughter or do not you feel to be repurchased you from me. If you did it is there that our feelings. We believe that may be in accordance with the negotiation by the left of the conditions. Price. Your holdings. Egypt of the Star. 1. Dude 8. At 5 o'clock after Akira 7 days noon. Lookout. Payment location. T-Park Sutenkaku Summit. Payment. Show by ways to bring the actual item on Sutenkaku until the right time at Mr. Alone. If the upcoming to violate even a little to the right of the conditions. Or if the upcoming news tells us this in the police. Or if upcoming trying to arrest me after of the actual item exchange. Which to reward it with the death of a daughter. On the right of the condition is correctly fulfilled. It forwarded to your home a daughter to one of the night. Get the right asked. No oyobi no henji. Tomorrow at predetermined period of time. Unless otherwise I'd controlled to a predetermined location. Recognize that this negotiation is not satisfied. Immediately move to the action plan. That's all. Black Lizard. Show by ways. When finished reading this Iway said had crowded thinking smiling color of embarrassment. Egypt of Star is. Akechi is asked to guess it. Yes. Now trouble is that there has become the eagle of private, but in goods should also referred to as a national treasure. I do not want to pass. Such is in the hands of the damned pirates. Although I have heard that very expensive. Its market value 200,000 yen. But, is a treasure that cannot be changed in 200,000 yen. You know the history of that jewel. Yes, we have heard. This country up to the most noble of the diamond, Egypt of the Star, is. South Africa, brilliant type, a jewel 30 several carats. As indicated by its name. The past. Something that has been accommodated in the treasure house of the Egyptian royal family. If they're over the hands of the noble people of Oshu countries. The First World War at the time. Moved from one situation into the hands of the jewelers. It is also in place to place. Just a few years ago. Iway's Chamber of Commerce of Paris branch it becomes a place to buy and is now owned by the Osaka head office. Deep jewel of the venerable eagle we think cherish and about second from lives there. Kasane a precaution to guard against even the theft. Where that are paid the jewelry. In addition to the eagle itself. The clerk of course I do not even know my wife. Quote, then. In other words, it is in the bandits. Then steal one of the gems. Those who steal a living human being. I mean that was Teisuka. Akechi is frequently nodded. Yes, Egypt of the Star was targeted by often thieves. Eagle on each occasion is became wise. And, finally, the city location had the eagle only secret. No matter how hell of the thieves. so it does not be able to steal the secrets in the eagle's head. However, the struggle also Yahweh's now, truly of the eagle is also in the hands of shaking the jewelry as ransom daughter. What notice any? Akechi-san. Also a squid treasures. Dwarf not to the human life is preempted. But yeah, unfortunately, eagle like to be made if the hand was. Gems give up. Quote. Iway's said showed the extent of the determination in the pale face. I do not have be made if the hand so much of things. Nani. You may also be smothered something like this threatening letter. Things like involved in the life of the daughter is not absolutely. Akechi even if Tanamashiku comfort, Iway's is obstinate does not trust his words. No, no. That terrible villain is not that what was knowing the specifications in faint. That said matter how expensive, mere as a mineral, etc., is spared mineral, not attached is irreversible as if there is any chance of it to daughter. Eagle that still Ozaru to offer the pirates. If your mind, so much, I will not stop you. Pretending prima facie took to the machinations of the enemy. It would be a saku also to hand over the jewelry. Speaking from my detective technology. But rather what is that it is convenience. However Iway's, there is no way that Nasaru worry. I will leave clear promise. Daughter nor its jewel. By Razuel put your eyes back in my hand. But during a little love. To him only I'll not let friend joy. Quote. Akechi or as a place where what the ask. In a powerful tone full of self-confidence. Was caught him in a genius assert the black lizard on the tower. The next day, the afternoon 5 o'clock a little before the promise. Mr. Show by Wazes literally observed the enemy of conditions. Without telling even Nanabe other than Akechi. Only one person. The entrance of the tea park. Arrived under the sky towering pylons. Speaking of tea park, the breadth of the area, every day, in the obitadashi of the crowd for coming and going, was a large recreation boundary of the best Osaka. Lined theaters, cinemas, restaurants, but such hustle and bustle. A street vendor's cry, the noise of den-shu, children crying, thousands of shoes and clogs and of play symphony. Katateru dust in the middle. Steel frame of Sutenkaku that mimics the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Overlooking the large Osaka, he is soaring in the clouds. Oh, what that fearless, what that outrageously, woman thief black lizard is. By more, the midst of the large pleasure border. On the tower in presence of the whole company. So was defined as the location of the ransom exchange there were. This Yushabegi, this adventure, is a feat that cannot be is not that black clothes woman. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.